Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to yet another presentation of Just for Tea. And this time we're going to look at Mr. 18's Raw Pu'er from 2008. And it's a small little tuocha that we use as a sample. When you order, you get one of those. This is a very interesting tuocha because it was, although it is a 2008 Ripe Pu'er, it was a tea that was brought to Japan 30 years ago, and somehow it was returned. I don't know why. I don't have the full story on that, but it doesn't really matter. So in this video, we're going to show you how to pry open your pu'er. And this is something, by the way, you can also do for work. I'll show you a little bit how later on. Once you've opened it, you can see that it's a very small little tuocha. It's tiny, and of course, when you look at the bottom, there is that little indentation. And this is where you will put it in your bowl, that little recipient bowl, and you will use your prier to go dead into that little hole in the middle. All right, and now I put it on my nice little bamboo tray because it looks so much better. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to put it into the gaiwan right here. And by the way, I have a gaiwan here. This is what you need to do a nice little pu'er. Of course, a little tiny little cup. A bigger bowl where you can put the entire content of the gaiwan in. And of course, another bowl where you will put the rinse. And this, you can just discard it. Plants love it. Oh yes, of course, the prier. So we've already pried open our pu'er. Now it's time to put it into our gaiwan. Most of a Gong Fu experience, and by the way, this is really a mini Gong Fu experience or a westernized Gong Fu, is actually doing it. The touching of the bamboo, the smells, the sounds, the doing it in a nice environment. As you can see here, I've put up a fake fireplace. I have incense burning in the background. I have also have a candle. And so now we're going to rinse the tea. And by the way, every tea should be rinsed, right? Just like your rice, you should just rinse your tea. You don't need to put very hot water, just lukewarm. Fill it to above your tea, and then just dump it out. Oh, and also very important, always have that little piece of cloth because Gong Fu or any kind of tea brewing done the right way, the Chinese way like this, is always a watery, messy thing. Good. So now we're ready for our first steep. The water has been brought to about 200 Fahrenheit, which is about 95 Celsius. And we're going to be careful to pour the water on the lid, not directly over the leaves. We're going to pour for about 5 seconds. No more. The first steep is just to wake the leaves up. And remember, this is a very old tea, so it will give a long time. It will keep on giving. There we go. We waited about 5 seconds, and now we're ready to pour it into the bigger bowl. So just move the lid a little bit to open up a little lip, and then with your finger, with your forefinger, make sure you hold the lid in place, grab it from the side, and then tilt it over. Make sure you wipe it because it's always a little bit messy. After that, take time to look at it. This is called the soup. The soup of a pu'er, of a ripe pu'er, is very dark. And smell it. Just smell it. Okay? After this, pour yourself your very first cup of pu'er. Oh, yeah, of course. Another thing you can do, and I highly encourage you to do, is to open up your gaiwan and smell the inside of the gaiwan, which I'll do a little bit later. But take your time. Really appreciate it. Smell it. Think about what it brings up in your mind and try to smell all the different smells you can get out of it. As the years go by, you will pick up on more. Oh, and yes, this is my favorite part. Smell that pu'er in there. And don't be afraid to put your whole nose in it. There you go. After this, It's really a question of how you do it. Trust yourself to do the right thing. Take your time, and enjoy the process of drinking your first cup of pu'er. I do this every day. Well, not exactly like that, but pretty darn close to it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, slurp away. It's actually a good thing to slurp in Asia. Whether you're eating udon in Japan or tasting tea in China, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this quick presentation on how to brew a very quick pu'er cup of Mr. 18's 2008 Ripe Pu'er. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please let us know and enjoy your tea.